When you hear me refer to South River, this is the trap I'm referring to. I put this trap in March of 2017. So this trap has been here for 8 years, been underwater at least 15 times. And the problem is, it's all right whenever the water rises after a flood of 6 inches of rain out of Atlanta when it's 3 feet. However, when it gets 4 and 5 feet, you lose the control box. So what I want to do is I want to pull these out. Even though I've caught hundreds of pigs down here, this is my control trap. This is the one that I bounce all the other data off of our mobile traps we're moving around during the Flint River project. Even though this trap has caught hundreds of pigs in the last 8 years, I want to upgrade the technology. So I'm going to pull these gates out. I'm going to take it back to Jake and Chris at Jager Pro Manufacturing, and I want to upgrade from a mechanical latch to an electronic latch. That'll get my electronics out of the danger of being flooded and get the control box off the gate. I'll put it around on the camera, and I want to have it 7-8 feet so that I never lose another control box. 8 years ago, Jager Pro gates had a threshold. So, you know, there's been all kind of deer and pigs that have walked through here and trampled this down. So it might be difficult to pull this out, but hopefully this won't take us very long. I got a problem in the Flint River bottom where this trap has been underwater, and I don't want to lose any control box. And a lot of people don't know that we can actually upgrade 8-10-year-old gates to the new stuff. So I wanted to bring our gates in and have Jake talk us through what actually happens whenever somebody buys the hardware for an upgrade kit. What can we expect to upgrade from an old one to a new one with electronic latch? What does all that look like?
Initially, you're going to end up removing the control box, your latch. We're going to remove the pin that's on the gate and cut off the threshold if you have one. After that, we install a new striker here in the center. We'd install an L bracket with the new E latch on it, and that would be your upgrade.
All right, can we show everybody really what the hardware looks like and the tools that will be required for them to do that themselves?
So the standard kit, when you open it, comes with a set of instructions. Comes with the L bracket with the latch already attached. Comes with a striker. Comes with your safety pin. Some of the tools you'll need for your upgrade: tape measure, set of sockets, a 3/8 and a 9/16, a 9/16 wrench, crescent wrench would also work, a pair of bolt cutters help, a sawzall, a drill, an angle grinder with either a cutoff wheel and a sanding disc, and a combination square to get a 90-degree to make sure our striker is set up properly.
Remove the old latch assembly and control box. Remove gate from frame. Remove the old foot and threshold. Weld a new foot. Install gate to frame by inserting the galvanized upright over the foot pin. Remove the old square stock trigger striker. Weld the new striker. Weld the new L bracket to the gate frame. The blue actuator is removed from the old control box and upgraded with 2 WAPU connectors and a 12-volt battery connection to the Jager Pro solar power supply. The final quality control measure is a gate test drop to ensure all welded elements are aligned and working properly with the new electrical components inside the upgraded control box.
Clear. Clear. Drop.
I transport the upgraded gates back to South River. The far gate is unloaded and installed first using a 12-gauge galvanized double-stranded wire at the top and bottom of each T-post. Then, the near gate is installed using the same process. Thread WAPU connector to the gate latch and secure each 48-foot long power cable under the gate frame with zip ties.
For the last 8 years, I've been operating this off of an 18 amp hour battery. That's what's been running my camera, and we've been running just a regular 12 volt 9 amp hour battery inside the control box. If you remember, in the past 8 years, I said this is flooded 15, 20 times, and pretty common when you get a 5-6 inch rain in Atlanta, the Flint floods to about 4 feet. That's going to flood the control box on a gate. So now that we've done the upgrade, I want to get my control box up here 5.5 feet, but I want to have 7-foot T-posts. So I want to show you how we can take 2 7-foot T-posts and put them in the ground, and our T-post mount on the control box, the spine is actually facing the control box. So I'm going to drive the T-post, the second one, just the opposite, so we can connect the 2 spines together and be able to secure it, you know, for the next 8 years so it doesn't go anywhere. Let me demonstrate it for you real quick. I'm going to come off at least a foot, and where this camera is, right in through here, I'm able to see the panels on either side, but right here is a good place where I'm getting the sun. So I want to put my control box about a foot. You never want to mount a control box, a camera, anything at all that has electrical components on the gates, because when you drop the gates or the panels, you're going to have all kind of repercussion from the pig smashing the trap panels. Always get your electronics at least a foot off. You know, I know in 8 years of operating, these are pretty much settled in here. A foot, 18 inches is our standard, because we want to be able to come off there with the cables right behind it, and we're going to get our solar panel, solar power supply above that. I just put the zip tie on here to hold it in place temporarily while I went and got my, you know, I love my 12 gauge double stranded galvanized wire. Use that on everything, never have to worry about it rusting or breaking. So I got one on the bottom, I'm gonna put one here at the top, and notice I put the twist in the back. You know, your twist, you're gonna have a little bit of wire sticking out. You don't wanna catch it on your arm or your clothes. So when you put it on the back, I'm not going to be walking back here. So that way, just safety 101. You shouldn't, you know, injure yourself or rip your clothes if you just use your common sense. Now, if I would put this twist on the front, I could be walking by and not paying attention, catch my arm, shirt, put it on the back where it's out of the way. Now I'm going to mount our solar power supply up on top, and we're going to power our camera and our control box, because we have 2 12-volt outlets. That way I never have to worry about changing batteries in my control box, worrying that my camera is going dead right in the middle of a capture. we don't even get very much sun back here because it's all shaded. However, if I do get an hour, hour and a half of sun in the middle of the afternoon, right through here, that should be enough to keep me operational year round. Right, so I'm going to take my Jager Pro solar power supply. If you look at the back, we got 3 different 1/4 by 20 threads. Take my T-post mount. I like to use the bottom one, that way I get the most tilt if I have to. So whenever you thread this, I always thread it until it bottoms out and then back it off. I'm gonna back it off a turn before I take and tighten it down. Now I'm going to take, this is loose. You know, my nut here is loose. I'm going to put it on top of the T-post, and you don't necessarily have to use the spine because I'm going to be going in this direction. I'm going to mount it like this direction. So I'm going to take this threaded part, I'm going to put over here. As long as the other 2 parts are touching the spine and the other outside edge. As long as you have 3 points of contact, this solar power supply or a camera, anything on this T-post mount is not going to move as long as you have 3 points of contact. I changed my mind. Since it's going to be facing that way anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the spine. That way, I can mount it this direction and have the most room to be able to get the sun. And I'm still out of the way of the door. Won't affect anything on my antenna. So now I'm going to mount my 12 volt and 9 amp hour battery inside my control box. I notice my lights flash whenever I hook my battery up, so I know my receiver is working. Another thing that I want to bring up, whenever we're mounting things now more off of the gate and we put it on a T-post, there's a clamp, a C-clamp that comes with the control box to be able to put around the T-post. Go ahead and tighten it down. That way this control box is not going anywhere on the T-post. Now, I'm going to close this up for now. Now that my battery is in there, take your 12 volt wire, your shorter 12 volt wire that comes with your solar power supply. Now, one 12 volt is on this side and one 12 volt is on this side. I'm going to use the one that's on this side to go to my camera. So I'm going to put my longer wire onto it. I'm going to take my shorter wire and put it on the 12 volt on the other side, and it's going to go right here to power my control box. Now, since I got a little bit extra cable just to keep the raccoons from screwing with it, I kind of like to go behind that clamp, plug it in. Now we got the battery, the 12 volt 9 amp hour battery running the control box with plane B as a solar power supply. And our camera, this will become the primary source of power, our solar power supply, with plane B being our AA lithium batteries, and plane C being the internal lithium battery that's in the camera. All right, I'm gonna turn this camera on while I'm demonstrating this. So here's my longer 12 volt cable. I'm gonna plug it into my camera, but you don't wanna just let it dangle. So always take your zip tie. And over here on our extended pole, I like to take this piece right here and give it a little bit of slack. There we go. So now, whenever this is tight, if anything, bird lands on it, whatever pulls that, it won't come out from your camera up here. Also, make sure you go into your app and change on your Jager Pro live video camera on the app. Go to AA plus solar so that it reads correctly on here. That way, when you fire it up, you should be able to see your battery charge on your solar power supply, your AA lithium batteries. If it's hooked up to the 18 amp hour battery for an external power source, it'll give you all of those. Every single picture has all three of those things on it. So always pay attention to that. Got 3 chances for your batteries to die. We tried to make this idiot proof. All right, while that is connecting, or it has connected, so this control box came off of here a week ago. It should be paired, but let's test it to make sure. Before I connect the gates up here, so I'm gonna have to go around and drop, I'm gonna manually left, right, and I should hear it click. So I'm gonna left, right, press OK to trigger radio frequency. Just clicked. Okay, so we've tested everything. I'm gonna go ahead now and put this camera back up at 10 feet. Make sure everything is centered so I can see both gates. And I'll put a little Gorilla Tape on there to lock it down so the wind doesn't move it. Make sure you arm it before you put it up. Okay, it's armed. We're going up. One more field tip before we leave. If this is going to be a permanent site, or you're going to leave things for a long time, go ahead and put a zip tie attached to the control box where it comes in to the control box where we're keeping our 12 volt battery inside operational. And then put a zip tie also on your solar power supply. Make sure you leave some room here so you don't put strain, on where it comes out. I like to put a zip tie right on the T-post mount just to keep the birds and the raccoons from popping it loose. I've not really had that problem, but with a zip tie, I guarantee you're not going to have a problem. Just a field tip to ensure that you're operational without critters causing you problems.
Control box T-post is 18 inches from the trap panel. Live video camera is 5 feet from the trap panel and 10 feet off the ground. Directional antenna is 6 feet from the trap panel and 16 feet off the ground. I checked to ensure the solar power supply is fully charged on the photo M.I.N.E camera and on both trail cameras recording video footage outside the gates. I test dropped both gates using the Jager Pro app to ensure both 8-year-old power cables are seated properly inside each gate latch and control box connector. Always use the gate safety pin when walking under a raised gate to prevent an accidental drop. Notice the date is Saturday, August 9th, and my intel shows 2 different single bores in the area. I'll bait a bucket of corn to supplement the 20-second feeder spin, since a dozen deer are also feeding here. South River is fully mission capable again, with the confidence of knowing all electronics are flood proof by sitting at least 6 feet off the ground. I reset the second gate before exiting the trap and leaving the area. This red boar begins feeding a few days later and patterns to both morning and evening meals. I capture him at 2100 on the 16th during the following weekend trip to the Flint River project. The new solar power supply used in this manner allows continuous operation of permanent trap sites with only 15 minutes of labor per month to fill the feeder. No need to ever change camera or control box batteries again.
Well, there you go. That's my recommendation and a quick overview of what you should do if you have traps that are in a river bottom and you're worried about your control boxes getting wet, or you just got some older Jager Pro gates and you want to upgrade them to the new electronics. We'll take this video, expand it into 10 or 15 minutes, so we'll have a step-by-step for anybody who buys an upgrade kit and wants to do that work themselves. I suggest you call Jager Pro directly at 706-718-9789. Call extension 2 or extension 4. Either one of those extensions will be able to give you information, because it matters what generation of control box you have as to what that costs and all those type things that go in it. I don't know what that is. Call them, they'll have all those answers. Well, there you go, another tip from the field to help you be more efficient as a hog control operator so that you have whole sounder success. We'll see you next time.
Call or visit us on the web to purchase the latest equipment and learn more about integrated wild pig control methods. Be sure to visit our YouTube channel to view the entire instructional video series, or like our Facebook page. If you have a segment idea, or just want to leave us a comment or suggestion, feel free to email us at info@jagerpro.com.